Good morning, I'm Todd Witt. I'm the president of Synergy Home Performance. Your home is more than likely the biggest investment you will ever have. My job is to ensure that you and your family have a comfortable, energy efficient, durable, healthy home. We're here today to test out this house or commission it. I designed the air conditioning system. We spent a lot of time planning this out. We supervised the installation, and then we spray foamed the rafters, the walls, air sealed it, and now we're here to check and make sure that all the systems that we designed are working properly. There's a lot of different subcontractors that work on this job, and there's a lot of products that must be pieced together on the job site. And it's up to us as my company to come in and make sure and guarantee that all these systems are working properly, so once you move in, it works the way it was designed to work. We're about to head out to the rest of the house and do a blower door test. That's the first check that we always try to begin with. It checks for air infiltration and see if we missed any insulation or air leaks, or if some of the other subcontractors that work on the job maybe cut our insulation out. And what we're trying to do with this is we're trying to keep cool air from leaking outside, warm air from leaking inside, or vice versa. And what we're fighting here in Alabama is humid air. We don't want humid air moving into our wall assembly or to our house. That's where it's going to create moisture, mold, dust mites, odors, and eventually structural damage that's going to cost you a lot of money. So let's go downstairs and check out the blower door. The starting point of any energy audit or commissioning of a job is the blower door. We just got a reading and it's 1750 CFM. What this blower door does is it actually pulls a vacuum on the house, and we're able to walk through it and find any air leaks. If you notice, the infrared camera will pick up areas, and this house is actually passing with flying colors. Our goal in this job is to build the envelope as tight as possible to the outside, but have the air inside be able to move freely. A lot of times in energy efficient houses, we only have a few returns located in the central portion of the house. Air that's being pushed into the bedroom can't be pulled back to get turned over, get conditioned, and get dehumidified. So what we do is we use a manometer, we drop the gauge under the door, close the door, crank the unit up, and we're able to get a reading. And what we're seeing right now is we're about a 1.2. We want to be 3 or less. So what we know is we've got great airflow in this house, and it's able to be turned over, and it's able to be comfortable. Bonus rooms always have the most comfort issues. They're either too hot in the summer or too cold in the winter. And a lot of that has to do with the insulation. We'll talk about that another day. But one of the things is in this bonus room, a lot of times in a house this size, it has its own unit, 1.5 tons, a 2, maybe a 3-ton unit. Because we spray foamed this and encapsulated it like a Yeti cooler, we don't need much air conditioning in here. But the air conditioning that we get in here has to be the right amount. And the big thing about it is we have to allow the air that's in it to get back down to the unit. That's essential for this system to work correctly. So what we're doing, we're pressure testing to make sure that the air getting in is getting back to the unit. And our magic number is 3. We're a lot higher than 3. And let's take a look and see what's going on. When we look inside, we notice that we're able to get a jumper duct put in here, but the jumper duct we put was too small. And the reason we use jumper ducts to allow this air to move back to the central portion of the house when the door is closed is because we don't have to use filters, and we don't have to run the extra duct work that makes it bulky and requires airflow testing. So what we're going to need to do on this unit is we're going to have to change the duct work and make it larger to allow the air that's getting in here to get back to the unit to be conditioned and dehumidified. We're upstairs in the attic. Notice it's almost 10 o'clock and it's about 70 degrees up here. We've got the whole attic assembly spray foam insulated. We've got our unit moved inside the conditioned space. And one of the things that's very important on it is that we have to have proper airflow in this house. But the biggest test you can do on an air conditioning unit, or the best test, is a static pressure test. It's like checking your blood pressure when you go to the doctor. So I've already drilled this hole. We're going to drill into the return side of the air. We're going to drop a pressure tube into it, and we're going to measure the static pressure inside of this duct. Right now, we're reading 95 pascals, but what we want to do, if this number was really high, it would indicate, almost like high blood pressure, is that the airflow was restricted. The bad thing about low airflow in an air conditioning unit is the fan motor will ramp up, use more energy to run, and by not moving enough air across the coil, will burn the compressor out. So a lot of times, if you've bought a new house and your air condition burns out in 5 or 6 years, you know it was faulty design and faulty ductwork installation. I don't know if you can see this reading, but it's jumping between about 90 and 115. This is a flow hood, and it's the signature of excellence in HVAC contractors and home energy experts. What we've had a big problem this summer with bathrooms just like this. We get the wrong vent size put in here. We've got an 8-inch vent where this is calling for 4, so we're pouring a ton of air in here. What happens, you're inside the shower and you're getting hit with a blast of cold air, and it's just very uncomfortable. This bathroom is a good example of the problems we're facing. What happens is we're using these Insta-Heat water heaters that never run out of hot water. The kids take 30, 45-minute showers, and we dump tons of hot air into the house. And one of the big things is we're always trying to fight humidity and moisture and get it out. And we have a bathroom fan here. What happens though is this heat, all this humidity from the shower finds the cold surface, and we get major condensation, we get mold growth, and we get dripping. The other thing is that we found is, even though these bathroom fans are rated at 100, typically we cut that in half and we find out that it's dripping or removing about 50 CFM of air. So one of the things we are finding is we want to get the supply vent as far away from the shower as we can, and we want to get the exhaust fan right over the shower. And the other big deal is that fans remove moisture. They don't so much remove odors. And we always find the bathroom exhaust fan located over the toilet. It's not really doing that. What we have it here is to remove moisture from the house, and we want to move it not into the attic like a lot of houses that a lot of other builders vent their fans into the attic. We want to get it vented in a straight, direct run to the outside of the house. You notice this filter, the pleated filter that's supposed to be high energy efficiency, it's actually just choking the unit down. It's concave because you can see how it's pulling in so much. The funny thing is, when you go around the outside, that's where you see all your dust. This thing is so restrictive that the dust actually moves around the outside of it and gets into your unit and clogs it up. The one thing that we do, the same thing as we did to pressure test the rooms, we're going to pressure test the pressure drop over this filter. And believe it or not, this filter is killing this unit. It is literally starving it from air. But let's put the flow hood to check this main return. And we're getting 1,200 CFM of air. This unit's a 5-ton unit, so it should be moving equivalently 1,800 cubic feet a minute, so we can see how much airflow this filter is choking off. We're back in my office in Decatur. We just finished up commissioning Synergizing this house over in Florence. Checked the blower door. The blower door numbers were great. It tested out to be about 2.5 air changes per hour at 50 pascals. In new construction, we want 3 or less. So that all did well. We didn't find anything with the infrared scan. The static pressure on the air condition return was really high. I said earlier that I thought it was a pretty good number, but once we looked over it and we compared that filter,
in the return side grill, it was choking down the unit. We noticed that that was really high, so we're getting that fixed. We noticed some interior pressure issues, especially up there in that bonus room. The return duct was not large enough to get the air supplied to it back to get reconditioned and get dehumidified. So overall, the test turned out really good. We did an inspection around the house. All the drainage issues were good. We didn't have any moisture collecting in around the slab foundation. The air conditioning was draining. So everything really looked good on the house. And probably if you know much about testing or commissioning houses, one of the things you'll notice is we didn't perform a duct blaster on this house. And by code, if the ducts and air conditioning system are inside the thermal envelope, we don't have to do a duct blaster, and that's one of the advantages. Overall, this house tested out fairly well. Thanks for watching our video. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and our website at WeTestOthersGuests.com. Thank you.